Hey guys, Pop Daddy here and welcome to our first video of the Wellington Lord of the Rings filming locations. So in today's video we are going to explore Mount Victoria. Mount Victoria was used for the Outer Shire and also part of it was used for Dunharrow. Now of course we're going to find out a little bit more about these locations. So I'm at a little place over here you can see called Mount Victoria, and over to the distance over on that way is Miramar and all the film studios. So matter of fact, this is the first ever filming location that they did for the Lord of the Rings trilogy back in '99. Now something that's pretty cool is on this map. It actually highlights where the Hobbit's hideaway is. But apart from that, we will trek down and I will show you the locations that I know of about Mount Victoria. So while we take our stroll downwards, I haven't been down here for about a year. This is where we started our Lord of the Rings tours when I was a tour guide. So Mount Victoria was quite a handy location. Most of them that were on the Lord of the Rings crew didn't quite know what it was like to put together a movie. They hadn't done so. So it was quite simple and quite easier to begin shooting on Lord of the Rings here in Mount Victoria, because if they forgot something, they didn't have very far to go. Of course, if they were down south and they forgot something, the film studios in Wellington, and they're all the way in the South Island. Apart from that, it is a beautiful place. You'll be able to see why very soon as to why they might have decided on some locations here in Wellington. Where I am is a town belt, so you can get from one end of Wellington City to the other just by walking along it. There are a couple of treats that I will show you guys on the path down to our first location, and I will be showing you guys the other Wellington locations in this video. Next week we will talk about the rest of the North Island locations, and following that will be a two-parter on the South Island, because they shot a lot of the scenic stuff and all that kind of stuff in the South Island, so there's quite a few locations to go from. Alright, so just behind me down there, that was where they shot part of Dunharrow. So that is where they had their tents, got all of that stuff happening in Return of the King, and that happened down here for close-ups. There were a few other locations that tied into all of that, but yes, part of Dunharrow was just down here. Alright, so we may remember in the Fellowship of the Ring, we have the hobbits going through Farmer Maggot's crops. All of a sudden they get pushed downhill and land on the ground to a shortcut to mushrooms. Behind me is where the hobbits rolled down the hill. Now of course they had to be careful, because down here they continued, they would have got to the hospital. I mean, it's not a bad place to be after you've injured yourself quite severely, but ideally they didn't want that. So instead, where I am standing, they had a blue mat for the hobbits, or as they called their stunt hobbits, stobbits. They rolled down the hill and landed on a blue mat where I'm standing right now. Pretty much where I am lying right now was a shortcut to mushrooms. So the hobbits obviously rolled down, they landed on the blue mat, then they replaced the stobbits with the real cast, and we had Pippin here going, "Whew, that was close. What is it? Shortcut! Shortcut to what? Mushrooms!" And that was situated right here. Now, of course, if you remember rightly, after they had rolled down the hill, Frodo hears something. And then of course he says, "Get off the road!" And fortunately for us, I can show you where that is, and I can verify that by the tree that is above me. So that was this very spot. Just down that way over there was the shortcut to mushrooms and the hobbits rolling down the hill. Now the next place I'll show you about Mount Vic is one that I'm currently under. There's the path just up there. There's a tree that might look familiar, a U-shaped tree, and there is me. Now the scene that they shot here was the Hobbit's hideaway. So just above me they had a fake tree, hence why the tree is no longer there. And then of course just above was where the ring wraith trotted along on the horse and then got down on his knees trying to sniff out the hobbits. And down here, of course, we were all the creepy crawlies were crawling on the hobbits. So we're at a different part of Mount Victoria now. This, you may remember in Fellowship of the Ring, they've obviously been hiding, and now they're on the race to Buckleberry Ferry. Frodo comes up to a tree, Merry comes up and says, "That Black Rider was looking for something or someone." That was right here, in amongst all these trees. Now, another thing you might remember from Fellowship of the Ring is obviously when the hobbits are running in and out of trees, Frodo stops, looks up, and they're still and silent for a moment. And it's because they see a Black Rider. Right where I'm standing now was pretty much where the Black Rider was. So you go, hobbits running around trees and stuff, Frodo stops, Black Rider, back to the hobbits, racing to Buckleberry Ferry, Black Rider off chasing them. Awesome, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Poets Park and Harcourt Park, both the River Anduin, or at least one part of it, and the Gardens of Isengard. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss that. I've been Pop Daddy. If you like it, subscribe it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright team, real quickly, just want to give a quick couple of shout outs to some people that have helped me with this video, whether it be references or actually helped me. So the first one's for Jack Mashila. Thank you very much for assisting with some photos that you had and allowing me to use them in these location videos. Of course, can't forget Ian Brody in the location guidebooks. I mean, they've been major helps. And of course, talking about Ian Brody, he's got that new app, remember he spoke about in last week's interview, Set Jitters. So I've been using that as well. It's a major help. If you're looking at film locations and stuff, then download Set Jitters. It is free and it can tell you what's around your area, if there is anything, and you can search by movie, city, or location, which is pretty damn cool. So once again, massive thank you to Jack, Ian, Set Jitters.